Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker. Brought to you by First Bank of Shelbyville. And Kincaid Service Company. Let's talk some sports. Here are your hosts, David Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bedford County Sports Talk Live here on Saturday morning, as usual. I've got Mr. Bill Anderson sitting across from me. I'm David Thomas. Jason Boyette's here. Mr. Kenny Parker is away on an assignment. He's umpiring softball. Can you believe that we're playing softball today? And it's like, 35 outside right now?
It's really cold. Kenny will be all right, though. Kenny's got plenty of insulation. He'll be fine.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, and we were talking about this week here in the office about playing this early out in the cold. Man, we still got snow coming up, but I was talking to a mom of a kid that's playing middle school ball. He said, here we go. It's starting right now, and it's going to be freezing. You
would think we could wait till March
those
the 1st.
propane heaters out
there.
You would think you'd at least wait till March 1st to start this, not do it in February.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked it's cold like this.
Yeah. Well, district tournament starting in high school basketball. We've got to talk about that. We got some scores, but before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsors, First Bank here in Shelbyville, here on Madison Street, and Kincaid
Service Company.
Y'all got to get it together now.
We got it messed up here.
I went by the chair.
We don't have Kenny.
I went by Kenny Parker's chair.
That was an emphasis on service.
We don't have
Okay.
Kenny.
Right.
Y'all we're really loud on service.
Right.
I should have
And
worn a
service-
Green Bay hat in honor of Kenny today.
That's
Sitting
right.
in his chair.
With some dreads coming out the back of it.
Well, service is Kincaid's middle name.
Absolutely.
We know that. So it's a good thing y'all emphasize service.
Yeah.
Let's hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All right, welcome back in here to Bedford County Sports Talk Live. Bill's got us some scores to go over. I know we've got all of our high school teams in action now in tournament. What we got, Bill?
Oh, you have Cascade and Grundy County and the girls. The Cascade girls, what a turnaround. 41-26, beat Grundy County, moved to the championship game. And remember last year, they could only win a game.
Yeah.
Now they're in the championship game.
Yeah.
Great job.
Big turnaround for them.
Big turnaround. Well, those young girls have gotten older. I mean, they got some experience now. So.
I mean, outstanding job by the Cascade girls. The community girls, tough loss, but it was to Cannon County, 59-47. And Cannon County probably going to the state tournament.
Yeah.
Pretty good in girls basketball. Boys basketball, Grundy County beat Cascade last night, 47-39. So that puts Cascade in the consolation or third place game because everybody here is going to the region. And then community, Coach Robbie Davis, tough loss, 55-52 at the buzzer. They didn't shoot the free throws well, missed a bunch of layups, but I think they shot, that text he says, 6 of 17 from the free throw line, which killed them.
Yeah.
But 51% from the floor. That's tough.
No,
But
I think
they
the
played them tough.
51% was free throw shooting for the year. I think.
Was that for the year?
I think
What he was saying?
Yeah, I think he was saying they shot 51%.
Because he did mention they missed like 8 layups.
Yeah, 8 layups.
Lost this game by 3.
And that was a good team they were playing.
Oh, really good team. And actually, he's played them tough every time he's played them.
Robbie's teams always get better around tournament time.
Right.
So
Yeah, if that 6 for 17 is 10 for 17, they win the ball game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you hit these layups
Yeah.
he was talking about missing.
Yep,
That
yep,
sets
yep.
up the third place game with Cascade and Community in the battle of
Bedford. I'll say it. Coach Davis.
Coach Davis loved that one.
Another battle of Bedford coming.
I didn't do it to you. I didn't do it
Jason
to you.
didn't do it today. That's outstanding. Now, the difference, let's talk about Webb for a minute. Webb is ahead of us, and I didn't
Right.
realize this. They've already had their district, and they moved into their region. And I think what hurt them was they lost to BGA in the district, which put them in the region having to play Providence Christian in the semifinals, not the finals. and the boys lost 57-55. That was tough. And Webb, I think, in the district, I know, was the only team to beat Providence Christian.
Yeah.
But the Webb girls were rolling. They beat Good Pasture 41-36, so they're going to move on in the region. And somebody can let us know, but I think Webb's done here, I believe, because I believe this was the semifinals of the region, and only 2 teams out of the region to go. Well, so that was tough there. But, hey, we got basketball right here in Shovel Day.
That's exactly right. 2 o'clock, SCHS girls, 13-7 versus Lincoln County, 21-6. And then 3:30, the boys play. Shovel 13-13 versus Coffee County, 12-14. 2 good games. Come out to Rick Insel Gym today.
So I guess this works because we sort of kind of got a bracket, but the Shovel boys and girls are back to back.
Yep.
And then you would assume that Warren County, Lincoln County would be, I guess, the nightcap game in the boys.
Yeah.
Yes, that is right. He says the girls, 6 o'clock game, Coffee County versus Warren County. That's a girls' game. And then boys is at 7:30, Warren County versus Lincoln County boys. But you're right. I'm glad, but I'm kind of surprised that Shovel's not playing the nightcap. But
because they're at
for
home.
me, I get to go eat dinner.
Well, that's back to back, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, you're gonna call the games now, aren't you?
I am going to call the games today.
So you get to call them back to back rather than having to
that's right.
wait and call
That's
one
right.
at 1 and come back at 7. I remember those days.
Yeah, it'd be my bedtime in the late game. So
Well, yeah, that's nap time.
That's right.
So what time will y'all fire up? 30 minutes before the game?
15, 20 minutes
Yeah.
before,
Yeah, let's talk about the Shovel record. 13-13. What was it this time last year, Bill?
Oh, it was
4 and
4 or 5 and whatever.
Okay. Great turnaround for
Absolutely.
the boys. I think Coach Young has turned the corner a little bit here after his second year. And going into this, I mean, finishing second in the district and a chance, it's tournament time, chance to go on and win it. It would be an awesome way to end the second year to keep on playing as long as possible here and move into the
If he
region.
can somehow get by Coffee County today, he gives Warren County more fits than anybody. He's already beat them once.
Yeah.
That's right. And we
It's
get
a
to play
pretty
them
good
at home.
matchup.
We beat them at home the last time we played them.
And our girls, too. I mean, you look at the girls, they're new coach.
Yep.
I mean, that's a major change for the
Yep.
girls out there. And she was out part of the year, and here we sit.
Yeah.
But she's like 15-9 this year.
Yeah, they've got a winning record. Yeah.
So, really good job taking place at Central with our basketball program, starting to get a little momentum.
Lincoln County's going to be tough, but I'll just tell y'all, Coffee County probably has not lost a game. They probably win the state.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit if Coffee County
Yeah.
rolls right through it.
They're
I
tough.
agree, yeah.
They're tough.
They're tough.
All right. So, what else we got, Bill? Does that pretty much wrap us up locally here?
Well, you got some baseball, just to mention it,
Yeah.
that's coming up that we talked about. They're scrimmaging today. Everybody's scrimmaging. Kenny's calling games. Baseball season starts off for Central on Monday the 10th. They play Murfreesboro Central Magnet.
That's right.
And you've got Cascade starting their season March 7th on a Friday against Eagleville. And community coach Robbie Davis puts his other hat on for baseball. He plays the Monarchs to open the
Saw
season
that.
on March 10th.
Who are the Monarchs?
I'm not sure.
Robbie, let us know. Who are the Monarchs?
I don't know where you twittered them up, Robbie, but I'm sure it's a quality opponent.
Twittered them up. All right.
And Webb, I think, plays Oakland to start the season. And you got softball coming up, starts March 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also have wrestling taking place.
Yes.
We were talking about that before we came on. We're in the middle of, sectionals?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? And we had a few reports, but I'm not quite sure exactly where everything stands. Last night or late yesterday, I got a text, and it was talking about Cascade wrestling. Vaden Moore, 144-pound, was wrestling for a championship at 7 o'clock. And I think that was last night. I hadn't heard what happened there. Also, Briston Moore was going for third at 9 today. So he's wrestling right now, probably as
Right
we
now.
speak. And Vaden is undefeated for the year, so I hope he remain that way.
I know.
And that might be tonight. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't get the day on that, but Mr. Kenny sent that to us. And if I hadn't wrestled, well, good luck on Vaden's. Good luck to him tonight. And, of course, Briston's going at it right now. I'd like to see them two move on.
Yeah. Central wrestlers, the boys are out. There's no boys left. 2 girls still left, Leah Allen and Callie Ziegler. So good luck to you two. I think they're finishing up today. So they may be wrestling right now.
Girls wrestling is a new mindset.
They have a lot
for
of
me.
girls wrestling.
And it's like growing like
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, you look, the first time I heard it was like 2 years ago. And then last year we had Shovel Central girls were
Yeah.
doing well. And now here we've got 2
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
That's
You're right.
it's different. It's
Yeah.
different for me. I mean, Bill, you too, probably. But I mean, hey, if they want to do it, it's a great outlet for them.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
But I guess that's all high school going on now. We got a lot coming up this spring. And of course, you know, I'm sure the football teams are working out, doing their regular thing, getting ready for the spring coming up. That'll be on toward the
But we
end of
talked about
school.
this. Look, let's just say again, though, the way these sports now overlap.
Mm-hmm.
If you had, let's just say, a great athlete that could excel in all three, it would be awfully hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you couldn't,
Yeah.
but it would be tough.
Boy, but you got basketball bumping into football.
Uh-huh.
You got baseball bumping into basketball. And then you got wrestling thrown in there.
And then
I mean,
everybody during the summer wants you.
Yeah.
Whether it be-
Baseball and football's wanting you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
And
basketball,
basketball,
you got
they're
AAU.
going
So
to
in the
camp.
summer, you're
Yeah.
getting pulled 9 million different directions during the summer.
Yeah. So if you're a kid, what do
You
you
don't
do?
get summers off anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know there is a generational athlete at Shovel Central right now. And he's a football, baseball player, you know.
Right.
Stephen Bobo.
Right.
And I know he wants to play football. I mean, you can tell he's a great football player, and he's a fantastic baseball player. One of the highest ranked in the state.
And if he played basketball, guess what he would be?
He would be one of the best.
He would be one of the best ones of the
He'd be
bunch.
starting today.
He would be
He-
starting
he's
right here
one of
today
those
for Coach
guys.
Young.
And there's kids like that all over
Right.
the place.
Yeah.
And it's tough on them. I mean, it'd be hard. You know, I go back, and if I was good at 3 or 4 sports, or if I had a kid, it'd be tough to make a decision on which way to go at this point. You know, at freshman, sophomore year, when you get to high school, you got to make a choice.
What's interesting, you talk to some of these parents who have children that are being recruited, and the coaches are saying, this is what the college coaches are saying, they want the kid that's playing the multi-sport over the kid that's playing the single. That's coming from the college coaches because they like to see how you interact in a different sport, different
Right.
coaching.
Right.
Coach Corbin up here at Vanderbilt, they tell me, he pretty much doesn't recruit anybody but multi-sport athletes to Vandy baseball.
Tells you a lot of stuff about
Right.
the kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a break. We're going to come back and jump into some college basketball. And let's hear from our sponsors before we do. We're going to hear from First Bank again in Kincaid.
Service.
Company.
We'll be right back.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All right, welcome back in here to Bedford County Sports Talk Live. Now we're going to shift gears and talk some college basketball. Guys, we got Auburn still sitting up there. We've got several SEC teams in the top 20. We got some big games today. Well, who is it Tennessee plays? Texas A&M. Number 6 and number
versus
7.
number 7.
Yeah. We were mentioning Vanderbilt and Ole Miss.
Yep. Jason Sleeper, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he's sleeper. Yeah.
SEC Sleeper.
Anchor down, buddy.
Yeah.
Coach Davis, that's for you.
So right now, the way things are shaping up, and tournaments are right down the road here. How important are these games this weekend?
Well, to get somebody like Vandy and Ole Miss, I think both of you are on the bubble.
Fighting to get in.
To get in.
Yeah.
It really helps you. The one that wins gives you a little leg up.
Right. So how many teams do you guys see coming out of the SEC going
least
in?
10.
I was going to say 10 at least.
At least 10.
Who you think it's going to be? Where's the cutoff? Where's the bubble? You mentioned Ole Miss. What about Mississippi State?
Mississippi State's right there. They beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. I think they're a step above right now, Ole Miss and Vandy. But Vandy's still right there. If Vandy gets to 20
they win
wins,
today, they got a good chance.
They get to 20 wins, I think.
That's always been the key
20,
number.
yeah.
If you win
20
20
total
you're pretty
victories.
much
But
harder.
there's going to be several SEC teams that have less than 500 SEC records get in this tournament. There's going to be a bunch of them.
They've been beating up on each other, just
Yes.
like in football.
Yeah.
So now the question becomes, is SEC the super conference in basketball
Yes.
now? I think it is too.
We're going to have to see how they actually play out in the tournament.
Right.
I mean, let's see.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we may have 12 teams, but how many do we get to the Final Four with the Elite Eight?
Right.
That's going to be the question.
Well, it'd be awesome if we had 4 or 5 or 6 in that Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And then you get there, and then you got a chance to,
Well, let's remember last year, Auburn had a great team last year. They lost the first round. Was it Yale or somebody beat them in the first round?
But there's 6 SEC teams that have a real shot at that Elite Eight. Real shot.
Yeah. And Bill, what do you got written down over here?
I got a big game. Alabama lost to Missouri earlier this week, 110-98. And I'm telling y'all, Missouri's my sleeper team.
What's their record now?
That would be one of my sleeper teams.
Because I think they can beat anybody. They shoot it well.
I like their style.
That's a team that could go in might win the SEC tournament. They could also make a run in the NCAA.
How many wins they got now? 20?
They're 21, I believe.
21? Okay.
I mean, they played well against Tennessee, a tough physical defensive team, and then they play Alabama and they can score well. They just kind of seem to do what they need to do.
They went to Florida, what I keep going back to, and beat Florida on their court. And the score was close, but the game was not.
Yeah.
They put it to the Gators, and the Gators are tough.
They are, especially at home.
Kentucky's at Alabama. Kentucky playing a little bit better. But Alabama's lost 2 in a row. This gets ugly today.
Yeah,
I think ugly today.
Yeah, they ain't going to go for 3 in a row.
No.
They're going to come out and probably put on a
And
clinic.
Kentucky, for whatever reason, matches up really good with Tennessee. They beat them twice, and I think it's a matchup thing because Kentucky really, to me, other than beating Tennessee twice, has been a bit of a disappointment.
I hope they're on the other side of the bracket from us.
I do too.
In the SEC tournament.
I do too. But the Tennessee-Texas A&M game's a big game.
That's the big game today.
At A&M, Tennessee's not played well on the road when they're away from Knoxville.
If Tennessee can win that game, we're back on that one line again. We could be that 4th number 1 seed.
Yeah, this would be a big win. It would probably solidify 2, maybe get you up close to a 1 seed. You got Alabama left on the schedule, Ole Miss left on the schedule, LSU and South Carolina.
Yeah. Yep.
And I figured that this one right here is going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. It'll be hard to beat them.
It's going to be hard to beat Texas A&M down there.
Yeah.
11 o'clock ESPN, right?
11 o'clock ESPN. It's an early game. Kentucky, Alabama's the late game, and your Commodores at 3:30 against Ole Miss.
Oh, I should make sure I tune in on that.
I know you got to check it out. Hey, how about the Lady Vols this week beating Alabama? Sadly, 88-80.
I enjoyed it.
I bet you watched every minute of it.
I did. I do.
But, they've won 20 games. That's a great
doing
turnaround.
A great job.
Great turnaround.
Yeah. I like her.
Beat UConn. Let's talk a little bit about MTSU for a minute.
Yeah.
MTSU girls avenged Western Kentucky last weekend.
Love it.
73-63.
Love it.
100 miles of hate.
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech, they beat 55-46. So Coach Ensel's 20-6, 12-1 in conference. MTSU boys beat Western Kentucky last weekend, 87-77. But this one was tough for me. Then they turned around and lost to Louisiana Tech for the second time this year. And Tech's not great. They're not bad.
Yeah.
But that was disappointing that they lost at home.
They messed up an otherwise great week for MTSU right there.
Right. Other than that Louisiana Tech 85-75, it really wasn't that close.
Yeah.
That's a little bit disappointing. I still say MTSU, in the right circumstance, could make a move, especially if they can get in the tournament. They might
win a
upset
game.
somebody.
They could win a game in the tournament. Yeah,
but they're going to have to win their tournament to get in.
Yeah. What's their record right now?
17-9.
Yeah.
So you're not getting in unless you win the tournament.
You got to win the tournament.
I'll be honest with you. Coach Ensel's not getting in the girls if he doesn't win the tournament. He's not getting in. He will not get a break. He'll have to win his
shot
tournament.
at winning this tournament, though.
Yes, he should win the
Still,
tournament.
he's still the favorite.
The only loss he has is to Western. I bet they played 10 times. Coach Ensel beats them 9.
Yeah, exactly. He will.
But the other interesting college I want to mention real quick is Nebraska canceled the contract with Tennessee for 2026, 2027.
What's up with that?
Why would you do that? Matt Rule, the same head coach that did this.
They knew what was coming. They knew what was coming, Bill.
But you want to fill your stadium. And I get it. I understand with these expanding conferences, you don't want to play tough out of conference. But it's already on the books. It's 2026, 2027. This is the same coach that did away with the spring game. Did you see that?
Yeah. I think they're just wanting an easier game there. I think
Matt Rule, they want to go to a bowl.
Automatic win.
They want to go to a bowl. Yeah. Just look at college football now. Let's look at the SEC in general. Okay. You're going to have 4 out of conference and 8 in conference. Mm-hmm. Those 4,
you better win them.
You better win all of them. So you're going to schedule L.A. Monroe and all these teams that are like cupcakes, which I hate it, but it's good for those teams.
Well, this is about forced Tennessee into doing that now because where are you going to get a game for 2026, 2027 right now?
I know.
I saw where South Florida, Golish, the guy that was the coordinator for Tennessee for a while. I think
Right.
he reached out.
And
He might like to play.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. South Florida's got some talent. That wouldn't be.
This guy at Nebraska to cancel this. He also canceled the spring game because he didn't want you watching, spying on him. Until you get a little better coach, I wouldn't worry about it.
But play the best you can.
Right.
I mean, and you just got to go out there and go for it.
But this would have been really cool to have had Nebraska, Tennessee, and a home and home, something you don't see often.
Two big programs. That would have been a great.
Nebraska needed it, win or lose, I think.
Yes.
They needed the exposure.
They needed the exposure. Or Tennessee, I don't think, had to have the exposure like Nebraska.
Don't have 3 or 4 big games.
So I could have seen Tennessee canceling this, not Nebraska.
Right.
And understood it. I do not understand Nebraska canceling this.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't at all. I thought when I read that article, I said, this has got to be clickbait. This ain't happening. And I realized this is true.
That's something you do 3 or 4 years down the road, not next year.
Right. The other team I heard they might put on the schedule is Memphis. Memphis has been pretty good in football. That might be interesting.
That'd be a good rivalry.
It would. It would.
You know, Tennessee hadn't liked playing Memphis since they beat us that one year, and they kind of canceled that contract.
Yeah.
But I think that would be kind of interesting as well if they played Memphis or South Florida or whoever. But I wish they were playing Nebraska because that would have just been 2 traditional blue blood college football teams playing each other.
Old school programs.
That would have been neat.
Yeah, it would have. Well,
hate to see it.
So much for that. That pretty much is everything that's going on in college basketball as far as we're concerned. I mean, we're watching the SEC. I mean, that's all eyes on the SEC for us. And I know everybody out there is probably pulling for Tennessee or Vanderbilt. And we know our Vanderbilt guy over here.
Our resident Vandy man.
All right, let's take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk some pro sports, mainly football, and maybe talk a little bit of Titans. We'll be right back.
Incade Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All righty, back in here on Bedford County Sports Talk Live. Now I've got a question to pose Mr. Bill Anderson. What are we going to do with Will Levis? What's going to happen with Will?
I hope he's gone.
Why's that?
Out of here.
You don't like it when he throws another team.
Well, we're going to bring up a coach, and we haven't done this yet, was the coaching hires.
Yeah.
And there was one coach that went to Jacksonville, I'm going to mention, with a possible home for Will Levis. So Jacksonville hires a man named Liam Cohen.
You'd love to hand them off to Jacksonville.
I think Matt Jones, Kenny's guy, is going to leave Jacksonville and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
They've got to have a backup for Trevor Lawrence. Cohen coached him at Kentucky. It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
We'll give you a 7th-round pick to take the guy. We don't need anything back. We'll give it to you.
Plus all the mayonnaise. Get some mayonnaise out of the deal.
We'll give you the pick.
So you want to give a pick and then get –
I just want to go.
You want a player, 2 players.
Here's the
You'll
thing.
give them away.
If you're going to draft, whether we draft somebody early or we're probably drafting a quarterback here. At some point, whether it's the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, we're probably drafting somebody.
Who's in there, though, Bill?
Well, you got the 2 big ones. You got Cam Ward's really shooting out draft boards right now.
Yeah, but
maybe wait the 2nd round and get the Jackson Dart or.
Which means whoever you bring in, do you really want Will Levis mentoring, tutoring the young guy?
It may be kind of like having the preacher stick around when the new preacher comes in. It may be time to let Levis out the door.
I think you are going to bring in a veteran, and we're probably drafting somebody. That's probably where we're at.
Yeah, I think so too. Rank those hires for me. What do you think, Bill? Who you like?
All right. Number 1, New England hired Mike Vrabel. I think that's an A+, guys.
I think so too. It's the perfect fit for them.
Good fit. They got a lot of cap money.
I kind of miss Vrabel a little bit now, don't you?
We wouldn't have been 3-14. I'll have to admit it. That same team would have never gone 3-14, and I don't think we would have seen the pick sixes, fumble sixes quite often. Because I think once you did that to Vrabel once or twice, you're sitting over here and you're not coming back.
Yeah,
right.
Vrabel didn't put up with it.
Yeah,
right.
I love the Pete Carroll hire to the
I
Raiders.
too.
I think he's won a Super
Let me
Bowl.
tell you
I
something,
love that
guys.
hire.
He's one of the best coaches that I've
Yes.
seen in my lifetime.
If you took the age off, if you made him 54 instead
Oh,
of
gosh.
74 or whatever, that's probably the number one.
There's only a handful of
Yes.
people that have won a college national
Right.
championship
He's
and
a
a
great
Super Bowl.
coach.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
the last year he coached, he ran out in front of his
Yeah.
team like a college
Oh,
coach.
he
He's
looks-
like physically
yeah,
fit
he
for a
looks 50.
74.
Yeah, he does.
So
I just love that hire. The Ben Johnson hire
I
on
love
paper looks good to the Bears.
And he's probably got the best team. Ben Johnson
Oh,
probably
Dick.
inherited the best roster.
The
No
Bears
question.
are probably more ready than anybody on this
They'll
list.
probably finish higher than anyone else.
Kind of like the Kellen Moore hire. I thought it was pretty good, but salary cap HELL to be honest with you, because you're like $54 million. I don't know how you feel the team with that. They'll figure out a way. But I still like the hire until he hired his DC, which is Brandon Staley, which was his former head coach of the Chargers. I didn't much care for that one. Now, the ones I did not like, Aaron Glenn to the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn is an overrated DC. I think you've tried this before. The Jets have with other coaches, and it's not worked out. I think they'd have been better off with Ryan.
Oh,
Rex
absolutely.
Ryan would have been better
agree
off
with
right
you.
there.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Really didn't care for the Liam Cohen hire for the Jags. The guys
you love the Jags, man. I know how much.
Well,
you love
but
the Jags.
he's only coached in the NFL 5 years, and it's been two different places.
Yeah.
And then he's been at Kentucky. The guy jumps around. Does it not give you cause to pause when I'm a coordinator here for a year, and then I'm here for a year, and then I'm here for a year, and then I'm here, and I'm moving constantly?
Calls to pause. I like that, man.
Well, my problem with Cohen, what kind of staff can you hire?
Right.
You got 5 years NFL experience. You've only ever coached with the Rams and the Bucks.
What are they doing? What are they going to do with Trevor Lawrence?
That's a good question. And I don't like the staff he's putting together. He's never been a head coach, of course. He's only been an NFL play caller 1 year, where I think Baker Mayfield in Tampa was already calling their own shots versus him calling them. And you're hiring a bunch of people to be your coordinators who've never coordinated before. He's not getting veteran coaches. But that's not the worst hire. The worst hire was the Dallas Cowboys
Oh, gosh.
to hire Brian Schottenheimer, who no one has interviewed for a head coaching job, who then hires the Bears, the Bears head coach, Eberle, is his DC. And the DC, if you notice, what was his name? Zimmerman, that was with the Vikings all those years.
Mm-hmm.
He retired the minute this guy was hired.
That sends a signal to you right there.
All the special teams coaches, Fossil and them, came to the Titans.
Yeah.
They left the Cowboys for the Titans. There's something here not right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something not right, and it starts at the very, very top.
Exactly.
That's just, I'm telling y'all, that was the worst hire I have seen.
Yeah.
Even for Jerry Jones, this is bad, guys.
Yeah.
Even for Jerry. It's almost like he's lost it a little bit.
A
Because if nothing else, you hire the old Jerry Jones hires Deion Sanders. And you know why? Attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody be talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He'd be selling tickets. He'd be doing
I'd
this.
rather have McCarthy.
This
Right.
infuriated
absolutely.
the Dallas
Just kept what I
Cowboys
had.
fan base. Infuriated them.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Jason Garrett than him.
Well,
You
Mr.
know?
Schottenheimer was a big reason when he was the OC under Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll got run out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Go back, seriously. It was the play calling of Schottenheimer that got Pete Carroll in trouble in Seattle. He's very conservative.
Yeah. And your
Not a very
favorite
good
quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Dak
How much you
Prescott,
love-
$60 million a year.
Bill's a big Dak Prescott.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Now, we mentioned last week the veteran quarterbacks that were available for the Titans.
Right. The list is pretty long.
Justin Fields. We left one out, and I couldn't believe it. We left out Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
Fields, Darnold, Wilson, Winston, Rodgers, Cousins will be available.
Do you put
Possibly
all of
Stafford.
them above
Carr.
Levis? All those guys are above Levis, right? No doubt about it, right?
Malik Willis is above Will Levis.
Wait, it's Malik.
Malik's not on here. Malik's
Malik's
still
not on
under
there.
contract with the Packers.
I
Hey,
agree.
and the physical tools of Levis, I'm not denying him.
No.
I'm denying football IQ.
I wouldn't want to arm wrestle him or anything. I know he's
Yeah.
a
He's-
big, strong guy.
Yeah.
But so was Jamarcus Russell. Do y'all remember when the Raiders
Oh,
took
yeah.
him number one?
Absolutely.
Athletically, the arm, it was as good as anybody's. But when you don't have it upstairs, you're not playing this game.
Is that your list? Is that how you have him ranked?
No, not
You could
necessarily.
take
I was just coming up with just a list. You're still going to draft somebody. Whether you get
Well,
one of these or don't, you're still
All right,
drafting
all right.
somebody.
Let's just say if you had your pick of that litter right there,
Right.
would you go for somebody that's like maybe got a couple years, 3 years left,
Right.
and then draft somebody to go behind him, or would you try to get the upside out of somebody here
I
like
want
a
Fields.
Justin
Y'all know I
Fields?
like
You see what I'm
Fields.
saying? You go after him, get him, and you don't draft.
Right.
I
Or do
maybe-
you take a Jameis Winston and then get Jackson Dart?
Right.
and
Well, I
start
tell you,
over?
if I had to draft somebody, it'd be Jackson Dart down in that second or third round.
Now,
I wouldn't waste a.
Interested to watch the combine. Let's see how Cam Ward does the combine.
I think if the Titans take the number 1 pick and use it, I think they're taking Cam Ward. But I think they're going to trade back.
I didn't think that was on the table. But if I'm the Titans, here's what I'm doing. I'm telling everybody that'll listen, I love these 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
You got to put your poker face on.
You better if you do want to trade down, you better be talking about he's a generational player and how much I love the guy.
But then everybody else in management, NFL, is looking at the Titans roster and say they need like 8 players.
Yeah.
You do.
They're playing poker. They're not going to do this.
Let me say this, though. Think of this one. What's going to be harder to find, a quarterback later or an offensive tackle like Kenny talks about? I think I can find the tackle in the 2nd round, and I'm not going to probably find a quarterback. Now, the question is, how good is Cam Ward? How good is Sador Sanders? Ward, I'm telling you, is moving up boards. Let's see how he works out.
Here's the thing about Sanders. I think Sanders is really, really good. I just don't want the drama of daddy around all the time. The kid's good, and I think the kid's a good guy.
I do think there's some people in the Titans organization
the,
that see a little bit of Steve McNair in Cam Ward.
Yeah,
I do too.
It's whether or not you want to go that.
If we don't trade back, we're taking Cam Ward. I believe that.
I'm starting to see the Cam Ward thing a little more.
Me too.
But here's my problem. I don't see someone giving a king's ransom in this draft and giving all these picks that we've talked about because I don't think that there's that much desire to move up.
I'd love to slide back to 3 and then get Abdul Carter.
But watch the Giants and see if they somehow get this Matthew Stafford trade done that everybody's talking about, and then they don't need a quarterback anymore. That changes the draft. We need the Giants to come up for us to trade down. We really need that to happen badly.
The Raiders are trying to come up. The Giants, unless they make the trade. And then,
you may see Russell Wilson with the Raiders. I mean, that's the talk.
What about
the
Browns, though? The Browns may want to get on up there so they can pick the one they want.
The problem is you're so hamstruck with Deshaun Watson's contract, I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. $79 million this year for Mr. Watson is the cap hit for the Browns. If they cut him, $99 million. You can't field a team with that.
Let me ask y'all this. In the draft, y'all love the draft. One thing you do. Out of the draft, out of the first round, who's going to be the 2 greatest impact players on the board that comes out and actually performs on the field? Your prediction.
Abdul Carter.
Okay, I pick him,
Day 1 guy. Travis Hunter. Day 1 guy.
I think Travis Hunter.
I
think he's the safest player on there.
But I'm going to give you another guy.
Be good.
The running back out of Boise State, Ashton. Genty goes to the right team, like the Cowboys or somebody.
Yeah.
This guy is the best running back to come into an NFL draft since Saquon Barkley. Yeah. He's special.
I think that
this is our
Penn State. The Penn State.
We all love this guy.
Oh, the tight end.
Tyler Warren.
Now, hey, let me tell you something. I want that kid on the Titans roster because we need a tight end.
This guy right here is dynamic. He's special. He's a top 10 player, maybe a top 5.
I think the Ted McMillan guy, too, the Arizona wide
receiver. I like him a lot as well.
You know, the Titans have not had a go-to tight end that led the team in receptions since Wycheck outside of Delaney Walker, but Delaney Walker was more that Shannon Sharp type player. Yeah. He wasn't the greatest blocker in the world. This kid can block. He's another Travis Kelce waiting to happen, in my opinion.
Talk about the NFL draft. Our good friend Jason Boyette has something really nice on draft day. We all get together, a bunch of guys, a bunch of good food, and we watch the draft. What happened when we drafted Will Levis to our draft party?
So we have about 10 guys over there, and we're having a good time. We're eating a lot of food.
Everybody's enjoying themselves.
Having a great time. And it was like you put a needle to a balloon. When they said Will Levis, we just all started leaving.
People started leaving, getting out, and going home.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think a lot of us were hoping it was going to be Hendon Hooker. If you remember at the time, they were both there. Yeah. But we're all like, come on, if it's going to be.
None of us thought it was going to be Will Levis.
Let me ask you something. Let's talk about Hendon Hooker for a second. Where's he going? What's he going to do? What's happening here with him?
Unfortunately, he got drafted by the wrong team.
It scares me that they picked up Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes.
It makes me think that they don't think he's that good.
Right.
Or maybe he wasn't all the way healthy back from the knee.
Right now, if you look at the 2 quarterbacks from Tennessee, Joe Milton is on the upside, and Hendon is staying level here. He seems like he's got more upside now. At least that's what it's coming out of New England.
The problem with Joe Milton would be a lot like Will Levis.
Yes,
to a degree.
Exactly.
It's going to be here.
Right.
And I just don't think
the physical tools are there.
The physical tools are there. Joe Milton can throw the football to anybody.
Yeah.
Talking about another Tennessee player, where's Jalen Hyde?
Oh, yeah.
Giants, 2 catches this year, I think.
Let me give you a former Tennessee player that's fixing to be a star. It's the right kid, the running back down in Miami. You saw they got rid of Mostert.
Yeah.
The other guy can't stay healthy. Wright from Tennessee is fixing to be a star in the NFL in Miami.
Do I need to put that down for my fantasy draft?
No. I should have hit that one. I got to remember that stuff. Because I think the guy's fixing to be a star.
All right, Coach D's here. He finally showed
Oh,
up.
he's finally at work.
Good luck on the Battle of Bedford this week.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach D. Not a Titan fan, but there isn't a quarterback in this draft worth having. Keep Levis and position yourself for Arch Manning's.
He'd love for us to keep Levis.
Manning's equals Super Bowls.
Woo! Coach D, I'd rather have the quarterback at Vanderbilt, Pavia, whatever, than Will Levis. I'll say that right now.
Diego.
Maybe.
I would, seriously,
maybe, yeah.
because he's got this.
I actually agree with you on that.
He really does.
All right, before we close, one other sports thing happened this week. I'm not a fan of the NBA. I don't watch the NBA, but I watched the slam dunk contest. 6'2", Mac McClung won it for the third year in a row. He's 6'2". He's from Gate City, Virginia. He's in the D League right now, playing for the Magic, the franchise. He's not. He's come up and played a couple of games, but he's down there and he's like going to be MVP of the D League and all this. He comes in and he jumps over a Kia, over the roof of the Kia, and
But
he
explain
got
to
50.
me, if you watch the All-Star game, explain this to me.
With that.
What is Team C, Team B, and Team Chris, and Team Bob?
That's
When
a
I
bunch
tried
of-
to look over there, and I thought, what in the world are you folks doing? And the first
This
one
is
to 40 wins?
This is about like flag football in the NFL Pro Bowl.
Really?
Same thing. We've turned it all into a joke.
I'll tell you something. It was neat this week was the Canada versus USA.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
14.
And I'm not a big hockey
Four
guy,
nations.
but I thought that was kind of cool.
That was neat.
That was
Yeah,
neat.
you know, when you got your presidents
Yeah, it's kinda
talking
cool.
trash, it's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
I
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Well, guys, thanks for watching out there. We don't have anything else to talk about. We could talk all day about
For
this
sure.
draft, and we're going to continue this conversation because it's going to be very interesting to see how the
Free
Titans-
agency's coming up, and at the end of
Yes.
this month, this combine up here is going to make or break some
Yeah.
folks.
That's right.
Yeah. And get out, support your teams. Chapel Golden Eagles and Eaglettes playing this afternoon. At what time? 2:30.
Girls play at 2 and the boys at 3:30.
2 and 3:30. Get out and support them. And then we've
And
got
then on
other
Monday
teams.
night, we got something special. And at Monday night, they play Cascade
Is it
Community.
Monday night?
The
Yeah.
Battle of Bedford.
We get an extra Battle of Bedford this year.
All right,
On a neutral floor.
on a neutral floor. Where's it going to be played at?
That's
it's
I'm sure it's,
Grundy
it's going to
County.
be Grundy
Yeah.
The
County.
Battle of Bedford is going to take place in Grundy County. That's gonna
And don't
be fun.
forget to come by the Boyette's house about 3:30 and watch Vandy and Ole Miss tonight.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.